Hello there from Weekly Geek.
Hello, it's Mark and Megan here to geek you out. Megan, what's this great image you have up there?
So we had our fantastic magnetic poetry contest. We got 44 entries of some really great poems. And I gotta say, we have some wonderful poets in our midst. So our winners are Hayden Bishop, Ross Geddick, and Sarah Hasbrook. They wrote wonderful poems, and then we voted on them. Congrats, you guys. Your poems were wonderful, and all the poems we got were, some were funny, some were weird, some were just totally bizarre.
They were bizarre.
And some were very sweet. So we appreciate that, and we hope that you had fun. And they got some great prizes. So
Yeah, and kudos to our fantastic head librarian here, Megan Toll, for organizing the Magnetic Poetry Contest. Once again, you know, Megan, the kids were so psyched when they won.
yeah, they were very excited.
Sarah Hasbrook, of course, is one of our help desk students, comes in and helps out with iPads and things like that. And she was just absolutely on cloud nine for days.
She's
So,
one of our constant winners.
she's amazing.
She is a great poet.
Amazing. Hey, so I've got a couple of quick things. You know, spring is all about rebirth.
Yes, it is.
It's about rebirth and going and looking at new things again with some fresh eyes.
Okay.
So there's a couple of quick things I wanted to point out here. I want to talk a little bit about the new and improved PowerPoint app.
I've heard about this.
So PowerPoint, Microsoft Office, it's the classic sort of visual presentation tool.
Okay.
And Microsoft Office has updated it. It used to be kind of just a lame old app that you couldn't really do much with. But they've taken sort of the best features from the desktop PowerPoint that we're used to and turned it into an app. And it's actually really pretty nice. And for those of you familiar with PowerPoints, will find it pretty refreshing. I mean, there's animations, transitions, designs. You can put tables in, as you can see here. And you've got
Nice.
your nice backgrounds. So if you like that kind of retro PowerPoint look and you don't want to get into some of those fantastic new tools that we have, this is a nice place to kind of check out. I was really happy that they went and redid it because
Yeah,
it was
I'm
kind of
glad.
it was missing from kind of what we did in iPad land here. So the
Sounds
PowerPoint app, check it out.
I shall.
So we're all familiar with Google searches,
Yes, we are.
but very few people actually know about advanced Google searches. Best way to find it? Google Advanced Google Searches.
There you go.
So, have you done many of these?
No, but basically what it is it's a standard Boolean search. You're pulling out your keywords, your what you don't want to look up, and I have used it a little bit, obviously. But
Did you hear her say Boolean?
I like Boolean.
Library geek.
Yeah, I use and or all the time in my searches.
Because it's the smart way to do searches.
It is.
So a lot of times, you know, we're very patient. Google's a great search engine, and we can find what we want because we're pretty good at searching Google at this point. But there are some times when you need something specific.
Right.
I rediscovered this week doing our digital citizenship class when we had
Okay.
students do searches on themselves.
Ooh.
Because if you have a name like Megan Toll, there's probably a half a dozen of them at least in the United States. And
Yes,
so,
you have to do Megan Toll, not Wisconsin, because there's one there.
Exactly. And I don't do Mark Gilbertson Manhattan,
Right.
not Manhattan, because there's a socialite there who has obviously got a lot more money than I do.
Well,
Pretty
that's
interesting stuff. Anyway, it's a great thing to go. It doesn't take long to learn. It's pretty obvious. You don't really have to teach it as much. It's kind of when you use it. It's when you're looking for those things where Google will be confused by other
Right.
factors, where you want to limit it down and you know what you want. So if you are looking for best Chinese food in Morrisville, you can still do your regular old Google search.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want to get one that's maybe not the one that you always go to,
Right.
then you can put in the not part of the Boolean search.
Or you could also put in not Pennsylvania or wherever there's another Morrisville.
Exactly, exactly. You can also turn on safe search with this, as you can see.
Okay.
Terms, types is really nice too.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
you know, if you wanted kids to find a PowerPoint or a PDF or something like that, you can do it that way as well. So,
Also, down at the bottom, it said usage rights.
Yep.
So if you're looking for images that you can use right there, free to use, share, or modify, even commercially, free to use and share or modify. That is a great way to limit your search as well if you're looking for videos, images, that kind of stuff.
yep.
And I can't remember what I was going to say, so let's go forward.
All right, so it's an advanced Google search. It is absolutely amazing to throw in there every now and then, and you know you can impress the most tech savvy kids too.
And you might not get 3 million results. which is always a good thing when you're Googling something, not getting a million results.
Exactly. So the next thing I want to talk about here briefly is just kind of a modification of our Do Ink green screen. And I posted a video to explain this even more, but one of the kind of cool things I saw was people who have not just used our fantastic green screen here, but have wanted to do some more like set of individual green screens in rooms. So they use the Do Ink app here that we have used for years and years and years. And I was trying to see if I had one all set up, but I guess I don't for this. So I'll create a quick new project here. But why not just use something like a green folder as your green screen? And what you can do is set it up right in class, and let's see if I can do it really quick here for you. We'll select a quick image from whatever random images I happen to have, like, for example, this of the corporate cup yesterday of us.
There you go.
On there. Sounds good. We will use that, and then I'll set up the camera here. And it'll be a little awkward because our iPad's down here in front of us, but you'll kind of see the way it works here.
Nice.
So I'm just putting that folder, that screen across there. Now, how does that work in reality? You can give every kid their own green screen in class, and they can do sort of these micro, projects. So you can have like stick figures dancing across there. It's just kind of a nice way to use the green screen feature. You can even use little boxes like this. A bucket. But this bucket doesn't work quite as well.
Because it's not the same color.
Not quite. You can adjust it so that it works.
There we go.
If you get the lighting quite right. But lots of different stuff. I think the green construction paper works just great.
So be creative.
Be creative. Lots of little mini green screen projects right there in the classroom without a book in the library and doing all that kind of stuff, right?
Sounds good.
Cool. The next one I had to show you, I got to pull over on the laptop because I am not super thrilled with it on the iPad yet.
Ooh.
So this is one that our super talented Patrick LeClaire shared with us a while ago, shared with me on a great list that he gave me before. I love that collaboration.
He has such good ideas.
He is amazing, absolutely amazing. So the Hemingway editor is basically a way that you can have students, teachers, it doesn't really edit your work for you, but you know how a sort of a grammar check works on a word processor, or how a spell check works. It sort of takes it to a different level, a whole new level with that. So this happens to be just the common one that's on there, and it's the thing I don't like about it on the iPad is it gets kind of bunched up like it is on this screen right here.
Okay.
But what it does is it marks out sort of a bunch of different information. It'll tell you the grade level,
readability scores. I like those.
Words, characters, which is not hard, but this is the part I love. Down here at the bottom, it marks off sentences that are hard to read. Okay. Sentences that are very hard to read. Ooh. And one of my favorite writers, E.B. White, was a big advocate of avoiding adverbs. Yep. So we didn't really need them. I think I got that right with E.B. White, but anyway, Charlotte's Web, E.B. White. Yep. So, get your adverbs in there so you're not talking with lots of adverbs fantastically.
That sounds wonderful.
And awkward at the same time. Words that can be simpler. So then you can go back up and analyze the text that you put in. So it's got an editing feature and a composition feature to it. But the couple of tests I've run, it actually does work pretty well, especially if I'm getting into some tech stuff and I just got to make it kind of, am I just getting too much into VPPs and APPs and things like that? So it works out pretty slick. And a big thanks to Patrick LeClaire for sharing that. I really like it, and I hope some of our teachers can use it as kind of a pre-check for some of the revising and editing for writing they use.
Sounds good. Hemingway app.
The Hemingway app. It's free. It works pretty slick. Like I said, it's a little clunky on the iPad, so be ready if you're using it on the iPad, but it still works. It just kind of jams everything together into a small screen, so it's a little trickier. It does not like cut and paste well either.
Good to know. Yep. So a couple of announcements for the library. Our last due date for students is the 26th. Our last due date for the teachers is the 8th of June. Help us get them back so we can do inventory. That would be much appreciated. Also, shout out to Kathy Frankfurter, who sent her kids down during class if they had a book to return them. If they didn't have the book on them, she still sent them down so they could check in with us and talk to us about what they needed to pay to replace the book. So thank you, Kathy. We do appreciate it.
Miss Frankfurter putting the hammer down.
And the middle level teachers are rocking at collecting books too. Thank you guys.
And everybody who's done the SBAC test has been rocking it. The students, the teachers have been doing a fantastic job with that. And as well as overdue books. Remember, at the end of the school year, we will be collecting iPads back again this year. So just kind of keep that in mind. It's good to keep tabs on. We'll be doing that collection in the middle school. It'll be before the end of school. We'll send out dates soon on what the actual date is for that. And then in the high school, again, it's that going to be during the advisory after the kids' students' final exam. So it's a little bit of a jam session to get these back. But just kind of keep that in mind.
Definitely.
And
anything else?
You have been geeked.
Have a great weekend.
Have a fantastic weekend. Happy spring.